Hello guys, welcome to another video. First of all, I'll say that this story doesn't belong to me, so read the full story for yourself. You can go down in the description to find a link to the origin post and read the full story for yourself. That being said, let's get into the video. Legacy, part 18 and chapter 18. Calm before the storm. 1 week had passed since the end of the second phase of the tuning exam, and everyone was busy training or gathering information on the adversary. Naruto was training with his godfather Jiraiya. The man was a pervert, but Naruto had to admit the man was strong and keen. Naruto didn't have much to prep against his opponent Sasuke. He went to the academy with him, and all like most favorite Sasuke moved forward fire jutsus and relied on his Sharingan. Hinata was training with Kurona, and Naruto didn't know much of what she was doing, and for good reason. After all, she will most likely end up facing him in the final, so she should have a few surprises in store for her blonde. If you look carefully, you would notice that both Naruto and Hinata were facing clan members, so to speak. Naruto was facing Sasuke, and both were Sharingan wielders. Hinata was facing her cousin Neji, and both were Byakugan users. Naruto remembered from the preliminaries all the details of the fight. A peak of Sharingan is that is gathered to be user. It grants its user photographic memory. That is the reason why the Sharingan is able to copy Jutsu. Neji and Hinata were mainly taijutsu users, with Hinata being a good situation user who was a bug and situation user, but also the Nabi Jinchuriki. Yugito was a fire user and very flexible at taijutsu, and also the Nibi Jinchuriki. Tamari was a long-range wind user, and her taijutsu should be low. Shikamaru, the shadow user, and like Tamari, was a long-range type, so his taijutsu should be his weak point. Kankara was unknown since he didn't fight. And finally there is Gaara, the sand user, and the Chibi Jinchuriki. Naruto and Hinata were laying on the couch with Hinata wrapped in Naruto's arm with her back into his chest. They were relaxing after a long day of training. How did your training go? Naruto asked, and he asked as he here caressed her hair gently. Good. I asked Asuma Sensei for some training on daggers and teach knife jutsu. Daggers, huh? They suit you, beautiful and deadly. Naruto said. She turned around to face him and lightly kissed him on the face. Placed her head on his chest. Flatly Flattery will get you nowhere, she said and chuckled. Oh come, you know it's true. You are beautiful. Oh come on, you know it's true. You are beautiful, he said, and she lightly blushed. By the way, I need some points on lightning manipulation, she said. Did you the leaf exercise by making it crumble? Naruto asked, and she nodded. Now you need to be able to channel big amount of uh, creation chakra. You can do the same with couple of rocks. Since it's hard to channel chakra through them, you need to increase the output amount until the rock breaks, he explained, and she nodded. And how did your training with the pervert go? Hinata asked, and he laughed. Naruto told her about his godfather and how he was the writer of the Ichi that Kakashi likes so much, as well as it can when you have an idiot of a godfather who is constantly distracted with his research. Naruto said, sighing. He taught him. He taught me a few kaiten jutsu. It's the only nature we share. Naruto explained. Hinata shrugged deeper into snuggled deeper into Naruto's chest. She was always amazed at the warmth he provided, and she always felt safe in his presence. They were resting for a few minutes until Naruto remembered something. He talked about it with Jiraiya. Hey, Himi, Naruto asked, and she ahemed in response. Did you know that your mother was my godmother? He asked. Really? Hinata asked as she raised her head and locked eyes with him. According to Ero Sensei, your parents were my parents' best friend. Best friends. Go figure. He said, chuckling. I wonder what my father even saw in here. I wonder what my father even saw in Higashi. Naruto murmured. You know, I think my father was never that bad, Hinata said softly, making Naruto raise an eyebrow. I was 3 years old, but I seem to remember him being kind to me. After my mother died, he turned cold, and the elders didn't help. Then I was kidnapped, and the result of my abduction forced Neji's father to be killed and delivered to Kumo as payment. I think he blames me for that. If I had been stronger, I could have been, I couldn't have been kidnapped. She explained. It was my fault. If I had been stronger, Hinata said, trembling, tearing up. Naruto lifted her up and cleared her tears with his hand. He hugged her and she snuggled into his chest. It wasn't your fault. You were 6 years old. No one could have expected you to defend yourself against a Jonin. Naruto explained, erasing her worries, but you managed to kill him. She replied in a weak voice, tempting to break. That was luck, pure and simple. I had my Sharingan and Kurama. Without both of those, I could have been killed instantly. I think he didn't kill me because he wanted my bloodline too. Said. Naruto whispered to her, and she slowly nodded. He continued to hugging her for a few moments. He felt her tension easing up. Hinata meant the world to him. People like Naruto, Jinchuriki, no matter where they live, they grow in a world of pain, knows of suffering and hate. Living in an environment like this is never good. Much less when you are child growing up. To people like Naruto, that are rarely showed any kindness or love, it to make them very protective of that person since they gave them something they never had. This is the case of Naruto. Hinata was the first person to truly love him deeply and unconditionally, so he is very protective of her and would do anything to keep her happy and safe. Feeling better, Naruto asked while he cleaned her dried tears. She nodded and snuggled closer to him. She always found comfort, safety in him. Suddenly, there was a puff of smoke in the middle of the room where they were. After the smoke cleared, it revealed to be a fox. Hey there, Kupo, Naruto said. Flashback, Forest of Death. Team 8 just entered the gates of the Forest of Death, getting ready to ace the exam. Guys, wait up, I want to do something, Naruto said and flashed through Hansel, summoning Jutsu. Naruto said and Kufo appeared. What do you need? Kufo asked. I need you to spy on Kabuto. Something about him isn't right. His chakra levels are close to Jonin and yet he flunked 6 times here. Naruto said and showed him a chakra card secretly stolen from Kabuto's deck. Smell it and you will be able to find him. Naruto said, I have it. I will be going. Kufo said, and Naruto nodded. End of flashback. So what did you find? I find out Naruto asks that Kabuto guy is working with Orochimaru, and I found them talking in the forest of death. Gofo said, I told you he smells like snakes. Kurama yelled, and Naruto mentally yelled. Figures, Kurama said smelled like snakes. Naruto said, sighing. He would inform the Hokage later. Anything else? He asked. Yes, I also heard Kabuto talking the Sand Jonin about some invasion during the finals. Kofo said, and Naruto nodded. A few seconds later, Naruto shouted out of the couch and yelled, "What?" "Keep it down," Kofo said while nursing his sensitive ears. "Are you sure? Are you sure you heard right?" Naruto asked very seriously. "Yeah, I am sure." "What time is it?" Naruto asked in a worry. "It's 7 p.m. Why?" Hinata asked confused. "The old man should be still in his office. We have to warn him." Naruto said, and Hinata nodded. They both picked up their jackets and Kurofo jumped in Naruto's shoulders as they left the apartment to head towards the Hokage Tower. The Hokage was in his office doing what he does best, paperwork. After Naruto told him the Kagebushin trick, the old man's life improved very much. Now he could take pleasure in what he liked to do, which was drink tea, smoke his pipe, reading his icha, and walking through the village. Suddenly, the door was burst open so fast that even the hidden Anbu jumped in front of the Hokage to protect him from the threat. For Kami's sake, stand down. It's only Naruto King-kun. The Hokage said, and Anbu pretended with shame. They jumped into action without assessing the threat. Naruto, is there a reason to why you entered my office like that? The Hokage asked. Actually, there is. The sand is going to invade during the finals. Naruto quickly said, "What?" The Hokage asked, thinking he misheard Naruto. I said that the Sand Village will invade our during the Chunin exams finals, Naruto said in a calmer tone. What makes you think that? The Hokage said with his full attention towards Naruto. This is Kofa, Naruto said, pointing towards the fox on his shoulder. He's a spy fox. During the second round, I summoned him to spy on Yakushi Kabuto because he had Jonin level chakra reserves and yet claimed to have failed the exam 6 times. Kuropo found him talking to Orochimaru, and yesterday found him talking to the Sand Jonin regarding the invasion that they were planning. Naruto explained and Kuropo nodded. "Are you sure, Kofo?" the Hokage asked in a serious tone. "Yes, Hokage-sama," the fox replied. "Inu," the Hokage said, and in front of him appeared an Anbu with the dog marks. "Summon Shukaku and Jiraiya," the Hokage said. "Hi," the Anbu said and vanished. "Now that you know, I will be going, old man," Naruto said and waved him off. "No, Naruto, you and Hinata stay. We may need to know anything else that Kofo knows, and you deserve to hear this since you discovered it," the Hokage said, and they both nodded. Not even 15 minutes later, everyone was assembled in the Hokage's office. Jiraiya, Shikaku, Naruto, and also Hinata. "Welcome. My sorry for calling you this quickly, but the situation may be dire." The Hokage started. "Naruto claims that the sand will be invading during the exams final," the Hokage said, and everyone stared wide open at Naruto, who was feeling a bit insecure. "That's a bold claim, Naruto-san, even more since the sand is our ally. What is your proof?" Shukaku asked. Naruto explained. It is out of out of Kabuto and his talk with Orochimaru and Baki. The sand shonin actually it is possible. Jorah started. "According to my spy network, the Wind Daimyo has been giving more mission to our country, which will without a doubt cripple the Sand Village, and if they are desperate enough, they might try an invasion. Jiraiya concluded. Was the background on Kabuto? Was the background on Kabuto? Jiraiya asked. He's an adopted son of her chief medic. He was found in an empty battleground a few years ago, and the chief medic adopted him, the Hokage said. Should I capture him for interrogation? No, if he's found missing, they might evade strategy away without giving us time to prepare. The Hokage explained and noted that Naruto wanted to say something, but he found himself a little insecure. After all, this was almost a war meeting. Anything you want to say, Naruto-kun, the Hokage said, and he nodded before beginning. Remember when I brought Iruko Aoi? Naruto asked, and the Hokage nodded. Well, before I trapped him in the scroll, I interrogated him. He said he belonged to the Sound Village, and his Kage was Orochimaru. So isn't it possible that the Sound and Sand Village formed an alliance to attack us? Naruto asked, dropped the idea out loud. It's true, I have heard of a new village formed a few months ago, and west you had Sound Genin competing. Jorah explained also, it is very strange to be being the Ichibi Jinchuriki to participate in a tuning exams when he's clearly mentally unstable, unless you are intentionally intending to release Shukaku in the middle of the village. Naruto said. Naruto is right. I have heard rumors of the Sand Brat. He's as unstable as it gets. It wouldn't need much for him to crack. Jiraiya said. So everyone agrees they will most likely invade. The Hokage asked, and everyone nodded. Then let's plan for it. I will recall immediately most of our shinobi that are on missions, the Hokage said. What about our invasion route and shelters? The Hokage asked. They are always prepared, but we will stock some supplies just to make sure. Also, we can't include earlier, otherwise they might. We cannot evacuate earlier, otherwise they might suspect. Our best choice is a surprise counterattack once they start an invasion. Shukaku explained. They will force on most important objectives like the academy, hospital, IT department, and the Anbu section. And Sukaku continued, but was immediately interrupted by Naruto. I have a suggestion. Naruto started. I found a couple of barrier seals in my house that might will serve our purpose. They can create a barrier domain around a building, protecting it from danger. Also, people inside can leave freely. However, for someone to enter, someone from the inside must open the barrier. Naruto explained. Barrier seals? Jiraiya asked. Yes, they belong to the Uzumaki clan. I have studied them, and a tunin can power the shield for a day. Their strategy is directly related to their strength is directly related to the chakra that is powering them. So a tuning can create a barrier that will hold anything below S rank technique. Naruto explained, and everyone had their jaws on the ground. The Orpul village was the home of the Uzumaki clan and most renowned Fuin Jutsu users in the world. It took the combined effort of three villages to bring a single clan. Looks like there is more than meets the eye with Naruto here. Troublesome blondes, Shikaku said very well. Jiraiya, I want you and Naruto to prepare the seals around the major buildings during these weeks. He discussed that. He discreted. Be discreet, the Hokage explained, and both nodded. Now that the invasion plans are set, What about the Shukaku? The Hokage explained, I can take care of him. Naruto said, and everyone turned to stare at him. Come on, the Hokage, come again? The Hokage asked, during the finals we will face in combat. I will defeat Sasuke, no doubt about it. Kara will definitely win against his brother. During the second round, we will face each other, and I can seal Shukaku tight enough so he wouldn't be a problem. Naruto explained. That is a very serious claim you are making, Naruto. Are you sure you can do it? The Hokage asked. He had no doubt that Naruto was strong and skilled, but to take on a Biju is a difficult matter. Absolutely, absolutely, Naruto said, and stared at everyone in the room with his EMS glowing in its full power and gave shivers to everyone in the room. They could feel the power behind those eyes, the true power of the Sharingan, the power of the Uchiha Madara. Troublesome blondes, Shukaku muttered. He would have asked, but it would be too troublesome to know. Since when do you have a Mongekyo? Jiraiya asked, completely shocked with his godchild. He knew very well the power behind eyes like those. I have it since I became a genin, but I will tell you later, Naruto said. That is a very high risk you are taking, the Hokage said and thought for a moment. I will trust you, but I will have Jiraiya on standby if necessary, the Hokage explained and Naruto nodded. Don't worry, old man. Have I ever let you down? Naruto said. No, no, but don't forget this is a Biju. The Hokage said, so mine has 8 more tails, Naruto said smirking. Even very well. The earlier arrangement we are prepared. Summon the rest of the clan heads to inform them and and be discreet always. The Hokage said and Naruto and Hinata left the room. It was an interesting night. Raikage's Kumegakure, Raikage's office. The Raikage was in his office trying his best against the number on Kage enemy paperwork. He is a tall, dark, slender man with a large muscular body build, with his white hair combined black. A small mustard and head. His face is very discreet with pronounced cheekbones and tear tones under his eyes and a prominent crisscross his forehead. He has pointed chains and his top lip lips also has a darkened hue and the bottom on and the bottom on. The Raikage was called A, and he was the son of the third Raikage who was demoted after the Hyuga affair. Curse you, father, for leaving this paperwork nightmare for me. A cursed in thought as he signed another mission report when suddenly there was a knock on the door. Entered. The Raikage said. The door opened and a woman entered his office. Mabui was a dark-skinned young woman with green eyes. She wore very formal attire considering for a lower vest, high, com- high compared to dress shirt and t-shirt, also with a pair of long earrings and sandals. She wore her light green hair pulled back into a bun with 2 buns that fall on either side of her face. Mabuki was the Raikage's assistant in dealing with paperwork. Raikage-sama, it appears that Yugito-san has made the final during Konoha's Chunin exams. Mabuki explained. Excellent. Please send a letter informing the Hokage that I will be attending the finals. The Raikage said. Yes, Raikage-sama, Mabuki replied. Darui, see, the Raikage called out, and in front of him dropped drop to Shinobi sees a young man with short blonde hair and dark eyes. He wore a sleeveless black shirt with a one strip over one shoulder, white flap jacket, forehead protector, chin, chin black elbow length arm guard, and the red and white Kumagakure sign guard along with a pair of sandals. Darui is fairly tall, dark-skinned man with a slender blonde nose, a lazy look in his face, and saggy white hair which covers his left eye. He wore a high, covered sleeveless uniform with loose-fitting sandals, bandages on his wrist, and also on the one strap over one shoulder flap jacket of a Kumikakure shinobi. Darui also has distinct stylized character for water and lighting tattooed on his right and left shoulders respectively, donning or denoting his chakras, nature affairs, water release and lighting release, as well as the fact that he has a Kekigenkai, the storm release. The tattoo on his left arm is also a signature that he has inherited the third Raikage's Black Lightning. These two shinobis were the Raikage's main bodyguard. "We leave for the leaf at once," the Raikage said and jumped through the window, breaking the glass during the process. "Another window," Mabuki sighed and walked out. Let's go," Darui said as he prepared to jump through the broken window. "This is Sodal. I will take the door and catch up to you," Darui said and walked out. Konoha. The next day, Jorai was walking through the village heading towards his intended destination. If someone watched him, they would see Joraiya walking calmly. However, inside his head, Joraiya was taking every precaution to make sure he wasn't followed. Why was he taking precautions, you might ask? The answer is rather simple. The destination was none other than the Namikaze compound. He agreed to meet Naruto there and prepare the barrier seal to place around some buildings. After all, no one has used the Namikaze compound since the Yandame had died 14 years ago, defeating the Kyuubi and seeing even Jiraiya at the entrance of the compound would raise far too many questions. Jiraiya arrived at the gates at the compound and rang the bell. Naruto showed a few minutes later and unlocked the gate and added his chakra signature to the seal protecting the compound. Jiraiya entered and when he spotted Naruto, he looked at him and shivered. "What's wrong?" Naruto asked, calmly, confused to why would Jiraiya shiver like that when he saw him. "Nothing really. Can you do me a favor and activate your Sharingan?" Jiraiya said as he stared intently at Naruto. Naruto was confused by his statement but shrugged it off. He activated his Sharingan and noticed that Jiraiya shivered once more. "What's wrong with you?" Naruto asked. You remind me too much of Madara with your hair like that, and when you activate your Sharingan it becomes even worse. I remember when I saw him for the first time. I was only 5 years old," Jiraiya explained, and Naruto rose an eyebrow. Naruto's hair had distract, distinctly changed. His hair was still spiky, but now was waist length with shoulder length bangs framing the side of his face, covering the most of his right eye. Basically, his hair was like Madara's. He only needed his hair. He only needed his hair black, and he be wearing senju armor, and he would be like Madara himself, minus the whiskers. "I found a jutsu that lengthened my hair. You said I should grow it out, but to use those jutsu you taught me. Besides, Hinata-chan's like it better this way, and I kinda like it too. Naruto said, grinning and activated his EMS, making fool Jiraiya feel a shiver running through his spine once again. Come inside and let's get the seal ready, Naruto said, and both walked inside. Jiraiya felt nostalgic as he remembered being inside with Minato. He was walking with Naruto when he suddenly remembered one particular scene when he was living in the when he wa- his living room. Flashback. It's an amazing book, Minato said as he finished reading the first book. He sensed Jiraiya released the talent of the gutsy the Utari Gutsy ni Shinobi. That's why I want to name our son Naruto. I want him to be a great and brave shinobi like your main character. Minato said, "Are you sure?" That name came to me while I was eating ramen. Jiraiya replied, "Naruto is a beautiful name." Kushina said as she came from the kitchen to join them in the living room. End of flashback. With what are you thinking about? Naruto asked as he narrowed his eyes in suspicion. Nothing, just remembering a few memories of of this place. Jiraiya said as he sighed. Naruto nodded and protect the ground Jiraiya toward his library. The library at the Namikaze house was located in the basement and was protected by multiple layer seals to prevent any unauthorized personal access. Naruto placed his hand in the seal, seemed to raise, recognize his chakra signature and blood and automatically slightly glowed before the door opened. These are the seals. Naruto picked them up and showed them to Jiraiya. He placed them on the table and started analyzing them. These are some high quality seals as expected of the Uzumaki clan, Jiraiya said after a few moments. Kagebushin no Jutsu, Naruto said, and appeared 100 clones. I want some each one of you to replicate that barrier seal. Naruto ordered, and every single clone picked a small piece of paper and started writing the seal. Not even 5 minutes later, 5 minutes had passed, and Naruto already possessed 100 copies of the barrier seal. That is some manufacturing speed, Jiraiya said, and Naruto chuckled. After all, Naruto learned sealing. He never once again needed to buy explosive tag or sealing tools since he could easily do them. Let's go, Ero Sensei, Naruto said. Jiraiya's eye twitched. Stop calling me that, Jiraiya yelled. Naruto and Jiraiya went towards the academy and arrived at their front gate. Naruto immediately picked four seals and placed one in each all. They remained until Naruto channeled a bit of chakra and they disappeared into the all. They pro- they protect they pre- proceeded to apply the seal in all the major locations around Konoha, the academy, hospital, IT department, prison, Anbu department, and decided to place them around the shelter as well. It's done, Naruto said after placing the last of the seal around the shelter, which the civilian will be led to once the invasion begins. I will talk to the sensei about the agreement to activate the barriers. Jiraiya said and left for the Hokage office. Naruto looked at the sky and saw the sun and checked that and to sun to check the time. It was around 3 p.m., so it was still early. I might as well go visit him, Naruto thought as he activated the Sharingan. Konoha Hospital. Naruto arrived at the hospital entrance. He never really liked hospital. The feeling of death he got from it was always it was made him shiver. The entrance through the main door and calm he made through the main door and calmly made his way towards the woman that He was standing behind the desk. Good afternoon. Which room is Rock Lee in? Naruto politely asked. The woman raised her head to look at the person that was standing in front of him. The moment her eyes locked with him, Naruto could see a disgust look in her face. You aren't allowed to visit him. Now leave. The woman snickered at Naruto. Naruto was getting tired of this. He treated he tre- pretended he pretended to receive. He cleared and names that simply discarded them and not allowing to do something that he had every right to do wasn't going to roll with him anymore. Naruto flexed a bit of the Kyuubi's chakra enough to change his eye and affect his voice. Care to say that again? Naruto asked, and he asked as his voice took a deeper tone. He watched the woman winch at the tone and watched her look at him and quickly shift her eyes away. So sorry about that, sir. Broccoli is in room 201. She quickly said, trying to get him to leave as it was getting hard to breathe and started to affect. Naruto quickly made his way towards room 201 to visit Lee. Even though it was a fight during a tournament, he still felt a bit upset for causing him that much danger and pain. He walked to the room and saw his bed, sitting in a chair beside him with was Tenten. Hey Lee, Naruto said as he walked through the door. Both Tenten and Lee turned to face him and smiled. Yosh, my eternal rival came to pay me a visit. I promised next time I wouldn't lose. Lee yelled, making Tenten bonk his head at this yelling. I see you are feeling better. That's good, Naruto replied. He is feeling better, all right. Before I came here, I found him on the ground doing push-ups with his working arm. Tenten said, sighing, and Naruto laughed at his entrance antics. You need to rest, Lee, otherwise you are going to miss me. Kick butt at the finals, Naruto said, glaring and Tenten simply face palmed to someone so strong he could still act like a kid. I will do my best to recover in time. If I can't, I shall do 1,000 laps around Konoha. Lee yelled yet again, and Tenten just denied to shrug it off. Why can't I have normal people on my team? She said, sighing. By the way, I like your new hairstyle. It suits you. Tenten said, thank you. I like it too. Naruto replied, rubbing the back of his head. It is good you are recovering, Lee. I will see you in the finals, Naruto said and left the room and went to train. He still he still had 3 weeks before the finals started. That's all for this video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Subscribing is the best way to be notified for future parts. That's all for this video. Bye bye.